Once upon a time, our lands teemed with creatures great and small. The beauty of the worlds was unrivaled. The people thrived and lived in harmony with the land around them. But this harmony was not to last. Slowly, without much notice, the withering was creeping out from the darkness. Once it took hold, there was little that could be done. Our lands were overrun, and all that was cherished disappeared before us. But all was not lost. One young, brave soul stayed behind. With support from their friends and with boundless determination, this young soul seeks out a way to push back the withering and bring life back to our world. Grow, Song of the Evertree.
This is a very different world.
Hi, I'm Rich Newbold, Game Director at Frontier Developments. So as you may have seen earlier at the PC Game Show, we're working on Jurassic World Evolution 2. We're really excited about it, and we're looking forward to creating the most authentic Jurassic experience yet. We've got tons of new features across 4 different game modes, including our original Jurassic campaign, which is a story set after the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. You're going to be leading efforts to contain, control, and conserve all those dinosaurs now running out in the wild. You'll be working alongside characters from the films, voiced by original talent, such as Jeff Goldblum. And in the game, we have over 75 prehistoric species. We've got new dinosaurs, we have returning community favorites, and we've added flying and marine reptiles to the game. I'm really thrilled to be showing you a first look at footage from the game itself. This is from our Species Field Guide series of videos focusing on one of the many prehistoric species we have in the game. This is an iconic, popular dinosaur. It's the Triceratops, but we're showing you it in a new environment never seen before in Jurassic World Evolution. I hope you enjoy it and are looking forward to the game releasing later this year.
The Triceratops is one of the most recognizable herbivores to ever have existed. It is best known for its trio of facial horns. These adornments are not just for display purposes. The brow horns in particular can inflict considerable damage to any dinosaur that dares to provoke it.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Future Game Show's virtual E3 show floor. Just look at it, Troy!
I am looking at it. It is incredible. They nailed it. You know, minus the queuing and the heat and the, how do I say, musk that's in the air? But man, the darkness, perfection.
All right, enough reminiscing. Let's check out some games. I'd like to start by showing you A Tale of Paper. This is a striking platformer from Open House Games where you transform to solve puzzles in an oversized world, dodging creepy crawlies and mischievous Roombas.
And now for another Tale of Paper as you shift packing boxes in the house-moving sim Get Packed, fully loaded. As you can see, it's all about moving couches on a couch with your friends in couch co-op. It's going to be available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, and is also backwards compatible on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S.
Are you done saying couches?
Yes. Hey, Laura, do you want a drink?
Sure. What do you have? Wait, what's that?
Oh, don't worry about them. They're Steam Early Access codes. Go.
So about that drink.
Right, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, here's a genre cocktail full of co-op action RPG combat and finished with a survival twist. How does that sound, huh? Okay. I said, how's a...
I heard what you said.
genre?
Tell me about the game.
This is Gatewalkers, which sees you and up to 3 other players banding together to tackle procedurally generated worlds full of monsters. But you also have to gather resources to fight off hunger, thirst, and the dreaded cold. Oh, like the element cold. Got it.
Wow. Let's hope no one gets thirsty enough for another one of your jokes. Anyway, come over here and check out the many imaginative worlds of Game Deck. This is an isometric RPG that has you solving crimes across multiple virtual realities, where your choices will shape the world around you in and outside of the simulations.
Ooh! Speaking of detectives, check this out. Backbone is a gorgeous adventure game from Eggnut set in a dystopian Vancouver, where you must crack cases to clean house in this corrupt post-noir city. Plus, you're a raccoon.
Well, if you like raccoons, allow me to offer you more critter-based adventures with Beacon Pines. Set inside of a magical storybook, Beacon Pines sends players to a sleepy mountain town where you collect powerful words that can completely alter the narrative in this charming but mysterious tale.
You know, I'm detecting a theme with the anthropomorphic animals. You know, Laura, I've always... Another set of codes. Interesting.
Troy, focus! I've got a triple threat of fighting foxes to show you. This is Trifox, a charming cartoon brawler where you fight waves of enemies as one of 3 adaptable combat classes. Great, huh?
Yes, totally, but now it's time to get serious. Mankind is gone, but the beavers remain. Welcome to Timberborn. It's a unique city builder where players set out to create the ultimate beaver society. This involves everything from constructing dams to crafting carousels.
I guess even buck-toothed critters need a solid work-life balance.
That they do. So, what's next?
Never fear, the Rift Breaker is here.
Wow. What was that?
Is what I would say if I was playing our next game, which is a base-building survival game where you hack and slash your way through hordes of alien creatures. Look at it!
Oh, no. I want to hear more from the Rift Breaker.
Okay, maybe after this showcase we're meant to be hosting.
And with that, we've reached the end of our little tour. But remember, you can go hands-on with all of these games right now by visiting the Future Game Show page on Steam. Now, how do we quit this? Is it no, that's update preference. I don't need to update this. Laura, can you help me out just a little bit?
I got you.
Coming later in 2021. Esports Boxing Club brings you the greatest fight roster in video game history. With over 200 fighters already signed, we've got some of the biggest and most anticipated names. The greatest of all time. From the absolute legends of the sport to the most exciting names in boxing today. The first women's division ever represented in a video game. And the hottest new talent. But what about the game? Let's take a closer look at the next-gen visuals and gameplay that are set to make ESBC the greatest of all time.
It's good. It's definitely one for the grandkids and stuff to say, like your old granddad was in a game and busting people up. So it's going to be quite cool.
So the movement system in ESBC is all about fluidity, being able to create angles, recreating mannerisms from boxes. The physics system doesn't just rely on animation. This allows us to recreate realistic knockdowns. Even when a fighter's unsteady on their feet, it's not purely animation based. Now we've had professional boxers, professional coaches come into the studio and provide input through motion capture and actually reviewing the game during its development. And now we really feel like we've created a true representation of the sport. Presentation is important to us. Just because we are in the studio, we're still going to aim high when it comes to production values.
Esports Boxing Club, coming to PC and all major consoles with early access in 2021.
Product not yet rated.
My name's Max Rea. I'm the founder of Black Matter and the lead developer of Hell Let Loose. Hell Let Loose began as the idea of a couple of hobbyist game developers all the way back in 2015. Following a successful Kickstarter, we launched into early access in the middle of 2019. And since then, we've delivered 9 enormous updates, including entire systems overhauls, 6 new maps, tons of new weapons, gadgets, and vehicles, as well as expanding our unique real-time strategy-inspired metagame. As a result, we've been fortunate to sell more than 1 million copies during our first year of early access. 2021 is only going to be bigger. I'm excited to announce that we're launching out of early access on July the 27th, with the introduction of the Soviet forces on the Eastern Front, including famous battles like Kursk and Stalingrad, before we close out the year by bringing Hell Let Loose to next-generation consoles. Hell Let Loose has only grown due to the vibrant community that surrounds it, from our earliest Kickstarter backers to our newest recruits. We're excited to introduce you to this ever-evolving and expanding World War II experience. We hope you enjoy this first look at what's to come.
Hello, my name is Ferocious, CEO of Halibut, a game dev studio based in Croatia, and for the past few years we have been working on Red Solstice 2 game. It is a real-time tactical battlefield game. It supports up to 8 players and has a fully playable co-op campaign. We are ready to show you the launch trailer now, so get ready for June 17 when the game launches on Steam, and have fun blasting some mutants.
You are the Executor. A high-class commanding officer with advanced cybernetic capabilities. You were awakened to lead a secret task force that will counter the threat of Stroll mutants and liberate Mars.
Welcome back, Executor. The Stroll infestation has now infected all colonies on Mars. Build your squad from 6 unique classes of elite soldier, utilizing their skills to best suit each mission type. Customize their weapons and tech, as well as their upgrades and abilities. Take command on the battlefield using the command radio to give orders to the whole squad or individual soldiers. Concentrate fire on targeted locations and carry out supply runs even during the heat of battle. Recruit your friends to the fight and join in up to 8-player co-op missions to save Mars in our name.
Hi, I'm Dylan from Gamius, and it's great to be here at the Future Game Show. We're currently getting very close to finishing Lake, a game that's set in the 80s. You play as Meredith Weiss, who takes a break from her life in the big city to deliver mail in her hometown. It's a job you can do at your own leisure, and you will get to know the people in Providence Oaks along the way. Today, we're excited to share an example of an activity after your workday is done. Movie night with Angie from the video store.
This is fun. It's been ages since I've been to the movies.
Well, they call it the movies, plural, but of course we can only see one movie at a time. So, which one will it be?
My pick? Alright, let's see. Big Trouble in Little China, Blue Velvet, or The Great Mouse Detective. Alright, I'm ready to pick. The Great Mouse Detective.
Wouldn't have picked you for a Disney fan. Oh well, let's get in touch with our inner child.
We won't spoil more, and we also can't say what Meredith will do after spending 2 weeks in Providence Oaks, because it's all up to you. Lake is coming first to Xbox and PC this September 1st. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the show.
In the beginning, there was dust, and from that dust, the moon was born. Eons of idleness passed, before suddenly it shattered. Great celestial chunks cascaded from the heavens unto earth. From one prodigious shard spawned humanity, and from another, the gods. For a great many years, balance endured, until a foul and malevolent deity intervened. XSeed spread greed and distrust among his kin, compelling these calamitous beings to conquer man. Centuries of servitude passed, until finally, aided by a veiled ally, humanity revolted. The Great Crusade overthrew the old gods, imprisoning them within the sacred walls of the Citadel. At the expense of untold lives, a peace was wrought, but it was not meant to last, for the miscreant XSeed returned from his concealment, conducting atrocious experiments upon his caged kindred. A darkness permeated the lands. Rivers stagnated, crops failed, and the world of man began to fade. The great moon, witnessing all, wept a final shard. A shard of the purest obsidian. And thus, a glimmer of hope remains.
Hi there, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully our little trailer has got you interested. My name's Tom, and I'm part of the team at Darkflow Software behind our new game, Enlisted, a historical World War II shooter with some unique gameplay quirks. One of Enlisted's most unique features is the Squads mode, where you head into battle with a squad of AI soldiers under your control. You can instruct them on how to react to enemies, and most importantly, you can switch between any of them seamlessly with the press of a button. You'll only need to respawn when your entire squad is wiped out. This way, you're always kept right in the middle of the action. Although, if you prefer a more traditional shooter experience, we have a fleshed out solo mode too, where you will only fight against other players. At its core, Enlisted aims to form a golden middle ground between the more hardcore and arcade-style shooters currently available. Time to kill is kept short. A bolt-action rifle to the chest will down a soldier in a single shot, with submachine guns and pistols taking only a few hits. Vehicles as well can of course be devastating, but have their limitations. Aircraft are restricted to the cockpit view, and crew inside tanks can only use viewports to spot targets, so you'll need to keep your wits about you to really get the most out of these machines. Progression in Enlisted is spread over various campaigns. Currently you can fight in Moscow, Normandy and Berlin, with Tunisia and many more coming soon. Each campaign features new weapons and equipment. Firearms can be improved to increase their raw performance, and soldiers can be leveled up to grant them specialized perks. Different classes of soldiers are able to equip different gear, with specialist classes such as engineers able to build structures anywhere on the map, including FOBs, sandbags and barbed wire defenses, and even anti-tank cannons and AA guns. Enlisted aims to keep historical accuracy in the forefront of development, Firearms, locations, and uniforms are all true to history. No neon pink Sten guns and mohawks here. Each army will be decked out with the equipment they actually used during their respective conflicts. Because of the squads feature, you'll never be short on targets. Twitch reflexes and fast reactions will of course have their place in Enlisted, but even if you haven't had the time to fine-tune your skills, you'll easily be able to come away with a kill count in the double digits. The AI, however, are very attentive and react to sound, and not to be underestimated. But that's all we've got time for. Make sure to give it a try yourself by heading over to enlisted.net/join. Enlisted is cross-platform and available now on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, and currently in open beta. New content is added regularly, and no progress will be wiped upon the full release. Once you've signed up, use the code ENLISTNOW for a free bonus on us. I've been Tom, and I hope to see you all on the battlefield. Cheers.
KeyWee is a game about two kiwi birds who work at the post office. Their names are Jeff and Deborah. I'm Joel, I'm one of the developers on KeyWee, and I'm going to show you how a KeyWee level changes over the course of the game. So in this room, you're transcribing urgent messages and assembling them ransom note style by stamping them onto the page with your butts. You'll come back to this room every so often throughout the game, but there will always be a new twist to change things up. So as summer turns to autumn, now your word fragments are moving around on conveyor belts, and you'll need to chop certain words in half with the descrambler to get the pieces you need. Jeff and Deborah are going to have to deal with all kinds of hazardous work conditions. They've got sandstorms during the summer, mayfly swarms. These guys have no respect for personal property. Paranormal activity. This is genuine footage of an actual haunting. In winter, the post office gets hit with a huge blizzard, and now this level becomes about sharing the warmth of a single tiny lantern to break through blocks of ice and keep each other from becoming kiwi sickles. Our little heroes are going to face new challenges every level and in every room of the post office, whether they're typing telegrams, or packaging shipping crates, or helping an octopus sort the mail. It's all in a day's work for Jeff and Deborah. Also, you can dress up your Kiwis, so don't say we never did nothing for you. We're releasing KeyWee on August 31st for PC and all major consoles, and we hope to see you at the post office. Thanks for watching.
You gotta think of the fortune, think of the thing, wipe the blood from your face and do it again. It's what you wanted when you signed the contract in love. Just play the game. Definitely not a tiny price. Just play the game. It's not you have a choice anyway. And the fight will die, and the fight will die, and the fight will die, and the fight will die. You'll fight, 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 fight.
Mówi się, że to, co designerzy sobie wymyślają, to jest pisanie listu miłosnego. Każdy kiedyś był zakochany, pisał list miłosny, wydawało mu się, że to jest takie piękne, wspaniałe, a potem po latach znajdował te listy i mówił: Jezus Maria, co ja tu za bzdury pisałem. Zaczynaliśmy właściwie od gry, gdzie skupialiśmy się na przetrwaniu, na menedżowaniu swoim czasem i towarzyszami. To wszystko wydawało się po designersku dobre, ale zwykle emocjonalnie dosyć nudne. I dlatego dodawaliśmy coraz więcej elementów, które angażowały gracza, które były dla niego ciekawe. Na początku był to taki mały chat, który gracz sobie mógł modyfikować, ale był całkowicie opcjonalny. Z biegiem gry on stawał się coraz bardziej sensem gry, coraz bardziej jego sercem. Nadawaliśmy coraz większą rolę naszym towarzyszom i warto im było dać właśnie tą walkę, coraz więcej potworów, coraz więcej możliwości, coraz więcej broni. Absolutnie normalnym jest, że zaczyna się z czymś zupełnie innym niż to, z czym się kończy.
Product not yet rated.
Hi, my name's Donat and I'm the director and composer of Halibut.
And I'm Ole, the game's art director.
Halibut is a handmade narrative game about friendship and life on a city-sized spaceship stuck under sea. It's been 250 years since your home. An Ark-like spaceship fled an Earth on the verge of Cold War to find a habitable planet on which to preserve the human race. You are Harold, a young lab assistant to the ship's lead scientist, Jean Marot. While most of the other inhabitants have reconciled themselves to a life lived aboard the sunken ship, Marot still works tirelessly to find a way to leave the planet and find a new, drier home. Of course, we don't want to spoil too much of the story, so let's dive into some gameplay details. You're able to explore a huge part of the spaceship right from the beginning of the game. While the professor will always have tasks waiting for you, the wonderfully weird rest of the veterans will keep you just as busy. It was very important for us to not only focus on an exciting main storyline, but to create a world full of interesting events and meaningful encounters. The dialogues don't only help you progress in the main story, but also help you get to know more about the many characters that inhabit our world. Weaving through the narrative, you'll run into playful interactions like repairing a broken 3D printer. Your PDA is always available to you for an overview of current tasks as well as messages from other characters.
This is also where Harold's personal drawings are kept, as well as a few more shenanigans. At this point, you might be wondering how we achieved the stop-motion-like look of the game. We are in fact building every single thing you see in the game in the real world. We build sets and puppets and then 3D scan everything. We're then able to use motion capturing to create lifelike animations for a huge cast of characters. While the game begins with Harold's mundane day-to-day, mysterious events and a fateful encounter will soon plunge you into a new world that nobody could have guessed existed, and one that may hold the key to Marot's relaunch plans. We're really excited to find out how you like being immersed in this unique world and the feeling of puppeteering Harold. There's still quite a bit of work to do, so all we can say right now is that Halibut will come soonish on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. You can already wishlist the game on Steam. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Four brothers, bound by eternal purpose. They all broke at the same time. And a girl named Mo. She knows what must be done. When the Blight first came, people began to panic. And now, the spores are taking hold of whatever remains. Mo's family is still here, however. She has been tasked to protect them. After all, she is the bearer of the Omni Switch.
Minute of Violence.
Can you tell us a bit more about the video we just saw in the PC gaming show?
The video presented in the PC Gaming Show brings you closer to Aiden's story. What he's looking for, what motivates him, how he ends up in the city, and of course, what happened in the Eld franchise between both games. This is a bunch of important information about the Eld 2 story.
Okay, so we know more about the main storylines from the mentioned video. How does the game look outside the core campaign?
Side quests are an important part of world building in Dying Light 2. Through these quests you can decide how the city will look like, thanks to the city alignment system, or bring new opportunities for the citizens. A great example is an opera singer that Timon mentioned in developers AMA. Some citizens will support your decisions, some of them will not. But it's up to you to decide how the city should look like. We have a lot of game activities prepared for our players, but at this stage we want it to be a surprise for you.
How seamless is the co-op experience? Would you say that the best way to experience Dying Light 2 is with a friend?
It could be. What is cool about the co-op is that it gives you an opportunity to see how the world changes when your friends make different decisions than you. In co-op you can walk in their shoes to experience all those differences. But really there is no just one way to playing Dying Light 2. It's up to you guys.
How are you improving the story for Dying Light 2?
I know we all have great fun killing infected, but we also want to give you a deep, thought-provoking experience that will let you be immersed in the DL2 world for long hours. On top of that, thanks to the choices and consequences mechanics, the story will be shaped differently depending on the way you play.
You've promised a great open world that feels alive. How is it going?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, Dying Light 2 is full of infecteds, but it's also full of humans, with their everyday life activities and purposes. We are building Dying Light 2 around the simple rule: ground is death and rooftops alive. What is cool is that NPCs act differently on each of those levels. Also, their behavior depends on choices you make and the way you play.
For centuries and longer, rats have fought tirelessly to repel the incessant frog invasions. Peace was only ever short-lived, until finally a young monarch rose to power. King Rattus, first of his name, unified the rat kingdoms under one rule, repelling Greenwort and his kind back to the putrid swamps from whence they came. Crops prospered, families flourished, and the magnificent Crimson Keep climbed ever higher toward the sky. But as time passed, King Rattus the Savior grew old, and the kingdom vulnerable once more. His people grew anxious, some claiming to perceive a faint odor in the air. Greenwort had returned with a ferocious vengeance. Amassing an army of unfathomable scale, he burned everything in his path towards the Crimson Keep. King Rattus gazed down upon his withered claws, barely able to hold the crown. He had little hope wielding a sword. So it was decided the crown should pass to Whiskers New. Arise, young prince, for the kingdom needs a hero. And so, your tale begins.
Well, hello, fellas. It's me, David Jaffe. Great to see you. God of War, Twistamelo, a bunch of PlayStation stuff. These days, I'm doing some new stuff with movie games. These guys, they've hooked up with this great company. You have to have heard of them, Plattige Image, one of the best VFX houses in the business. They worked on The Witcher. They worked on Love, Death, and Robots. We're making a brand new game, the biggest game we've ever done, by the way, that's all about crime and mob and mafia and different time periods. It's going to be great. But for today, settle in, babies. These are the brand new games coming very soon from movie games. Lust from Beyond. Man, this is one of the coolest games I've played in the last year. It's what turned me on to movie games in the first place. What you're looking at is the M-rated, console-friendly version of the erotic horror cult classic. It's a first-person action-adventure game that blends Lovecraftian horror with weird freaking eroticism. I love this game. Lust from Beyond. Game number 2 is called Fire Commander. It lets you step into the shoes of the only real-life superheroes we got, the first responders. This game is my childhood fantasy come to life. This game took me totally by surprise. You're trapped in the wilderness, freezing, hungry, and now you're starting to go a little bit insane. Man, you start seeing all kinds of crazy stuff out there. Winter Survival Simulator, it's coming soon. Have a great E3. Have a great future games. I miss you guys. I'll see you soon. Oh my God.
Fending off a monster or two is one thing, but protecting a whole town? That's a lot.
Take that!
I'll get straight to it. Tomorrow. Today, I rest.
I look forward to working together, as colleagues and as rivals.
Marvelous!
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Introducing 2-Point Campus.
When we were thinking about what we were going to do next, campus and the idea of running a university or a college was something we just kept coming back to. It's a really rich topic.
So people who haven't probably heard of 2-Point Studios may think, oh, schools, that's really dull. Well, hospitals, if you've seen our previous game, isn't about healthcare really. It's a wrapper, you know, we call it 2-Point Hospital, but that's about as close as it gets to real world of medical healthcare.
Campus is taking everything we learned from 2-Point Hospital and taking it to the next level.
The important thing was for us to give the player a canvas that they could completely create themselves.
In Campus, you start with this blank plot of land.
We've got something called the Smart Brush, for example, which allows you to drag interesting shaped pathways. If you want to drag a picket fence, you can drag that along. It's just really easy to paint the world you want.
So it's really simple to drag out a courtyard, lay down some paths at different angles.
And it's fun, isn't it? I mean, it's adding this kind of city builder element to 2 Point Universe.
The difference between 2 Point Hospital and campus is that we're spending a much longer period with our students.
What we wanted to do with campus is make you care about your university.
You know, the idea of these interesting and different courses are going to attract interesting and different students. So there's a night school.
Horrible pun, but night school, you got it. You're going to train knights of the realm. So it won't be stuffy, normal, boring stuff that made you go to sleep at school. It's going to be really cool, interesting stuff.
Robert Conway, 22nd of June, 1954. I've solved many a case in my time as a private investigator, but nothing so close to home as the abduction of Charlotte May. There are some things that take hold of a person and refuse to let go. For me, it's the idea of saving that little girl. My own daughter, Catherine, is on the case. She has the same look in her eye that I used to have. There'll be no stopping her. I wish I could say that all of my neighbors are innocent. I wish I could say that I have the faintest clue where to begin. There's a lot I wish I could say. The truth is, sometimes it takes a nightmare to wake a place like Dahlia View.
is Marissa Marcel. I'm 17 years old, and it's my dream to be an actress.